Alright, what's up everybody? I got some parts in today. I've got the frame in, I've got motors in, I've got speed controllers or your ESCs in, and I've got the battery straps. I've kind of went ahead and put the GoPro couch on with all the posts on the frame. The frame here is the brand new MB Epic 235mm version 2 frame from multicopterbuilders.com. Just a sweet looking X-frame. Super stoked to start the build on this. You can see right here we've also got our own custom to us Multicopter Builders 2400 kV race motors. Super pumped to try these out. They're supposed to be a lot better than my red bottom motors on my 235 V1 setup. Okay, it's supposed to be a lot more power than these. So like I said, I've kind of gotten a little ahead of you guys, but one thing I've done is literally just put the posts in and start laying things out here. You got the bottom plate, which is an upgrade from the version 1, which is a 3mm plate. I requested the 4mm plates, the bottom plate at least, from Richard at Multicopter Builders, just for durability. Okay, because whenever you crash or something, I just want a little bit of extra meat there, and I'm not too worried about the extra weight. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start mounting these motors. Okay, really easy. What we're going to do here is you're going to see on the bottom of these motors that there's 4 holes for the machine screws. Just about every motor that you're going to get from any manufacturer is going to come with supplied mounting hardware. This is special hardware just for the thickness of the plate. Usually whenever you have a 3mm plate like what's on the version 1 frame, you can't just go and put a normal screw in there, because once you put it in, there's just nothing left in the thread department. You can't get a bite into the bottom of the motor. So we've had to upgrade to, like, I think these are 6mm hex screws, whatever you want to call them. But we're just going to open these up here, and we're going to put in our first screw here to the bottom of the frame. And I can't stress enough that the length of the screw protruding out of the top of the bottom plate here, in my research and all the motors that I've put together, cannot be any longer than 4 threads. Okay, that's not 4mm, 4 threads. Okay, because if you put a too long of screw in the bottom of this motor, the screw will go up into the windings in the motor, and the second that you apply power and you put power to these motors, you're going to fry the motors. You're going to fry all of them. And there goes $100. Literally, I've done it. I've done it on an octocopter. And so I've fried 8 motors at one time. So, very, very important that you use the proper screws on the bottom of these motors. Because if you don't, you're going to fry your motors. I'm serious on that. It's look up any forums on Facebook, any drone site. They're going to tell you that the mounting screw for the motors is extremely important. Okay, just kind of keep that in mind. We're going to be moving on here. So let's get back to what we're doing. We're going to get one of the motors in here, and what you're going to do is you're going to put the screw in here, and then you're going to find the corresponding thread hole for it when your motors and the wires are coming down the arm. You don't want your wires out this way. You don't want your wires coming out the front. You want your wires coming right down the center of the arm. Okay, we're going to find I know you guys can't see what I'm doing here, but what I'm doing is I'm just lining up the hole and just getting it started. So you can see there that the motor wires are coming directly out off into the center of the arm, and you want to do that all the way around. So we're going to go ahead and get the rest of the screws in. Okay. Alright, now then, we've got our motors mounted. Usually the next step I go and do is I go and grab my speed controllers, my ESCs. Okay, so we're going to start doing a little custom here, because you're going to notice that these wires connect to those wires, but we literally only need about an inch worth of wiring. So I'm going to heat up my soldering iron here. I'm going to grab my box knife. Nice to have this little thing around. And I'm going to cut away the heat shrink right here. Yep, and again, we're just going to cut away the top portion of the heat shrink. To give us access to those solders. Okay. So now we're just going to take our gun again. Take it, heat it up, and slide it off. Set your gun down. Your iron on it. Should have replaced this tip. Okay, there it goes. Yeah. Heat it up, slide it off. Okay, then we're going to clean it up. I'm going to tin my wire here. Drop in some solder, fill it in, then you're good. So now that we've got that taken care of, so what we're going to do now is we're going to bring our frame back over, and I want that about split, because your flight controller and your power distribution board are going to be mounted in these 4 holes right here. That's where you're going to be mounting it. So you can almost just see, this is an old one that I have here, that everything's going to be mounted to this right here. So we want to kind of do our laying out here. So what we're going to do is we're going to reach over here, grab our zip ties, so we won't do that just quite yet. Matter of fact, yes we will. Put that right off to the side. That's not going to be permanent, it's just kind of temporary. So what we're going to do here is, where those 3 strands came off, you're going to cut your wires here to to fit. Okay, so we want right there on that one, and I just do this with my fingernail. It's kind of easy. So you can kind of see I'm just kind of marking it with my fingernail, each wire, so I know where to cut. I'm going to grab my wire snips, just snip. So now that we have that done, we can see that each wire is going to fit perfectly. Let's take a little bit more off this one. Okay. So now I'm going to grab my other wire strippers. I'm just going to strip back that installation. And let's grab this third wire here. Alright, so we've got each one of those strands exposed, just like yesterday. Remember when I told you that I like twisting my wires so that we don't have a bunch of fraying, the wires stay neat. So now then, same thing as yesterday, we're going to grab our flux. I'm just going to put it on the brush. It's going to be kind of hard to, so I'm just going to dab some on each one of them. Okay, grab my iron. We're going to just set that, let that melt in. Grab our flux or our solder. I'm going to pre-tin the wires. Okay. So now then, we've got our wires pre-tinned. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to kind of show you a little trick that I use, because you don't want to be holding onto this and trying to solder because the wire gets super hot. So kind of a little trick that I've learned is that I'll hold this with a little flathead, grab my iron, heat it up. That's pretty sloppy. Let's try that again. There we go. That looks good. Now then, grab the second wire. We're going to do the same thing. Okay, looks real good. Grab our third wire. See, even this third wire is warm from the first two solders. Come on. Alright. Go to that one. Alright. So now then, you can see that we've got 4 motors mounted and then 4 speed controllers mounted. That wraps it up for this edition, this video, and we will catch you guys next time when I get some more parts in. The next parts that are going to be coming in is the power distribution board, where the red, the positive and negative power wires are going to be coming into and being fed by the battery. And so we're going to wire that up, get that soldered in, and then the flight controller should be in the next day or so, and we'll start getting that thing wired in. After that, it's FPV gear, and then we can start programming the flight controller. But hey guys, I appreciate you, and we will see you on video number 4 in the next day or so. Have a good one.